Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Copper Owl, bringing you a fan review for the Gunslinger, and it is the Action Force Swarm Tracer. So, this is a fan review as requested by the Gunslinger and all that. So, let's see what we got here. Remember how I said the Cobra officer was was almost a perfect figure? This is probably the perfect figure right here. Just this guy is it's awesome. Conceptually, it's genius. Design wise, it's good. It's perfect. Why is it a peg warmer? We're gonna get into that. So it might not be a peg warmer. It might be that there's just overstock. It's just weird that what's on the shop is that was the figure that was discounted and is part of a bundle. So yeah, it's a deluxe figure. Okay, you get multiple heads, multiple hands, and the jetpack is a thing that usually when they released the Swarm figures, the jetpack was something you bought separate. It's like an upgrade, and this head was used for a different figure as well. It's like the Scarab head, and officers would use this head. And there's also battle damaged ones and everything. So let me take that off. I like this version. It reminds me of the EVA helmet from Halo, which I used to use in Halo Reach. But this head right here is the standard soldier head. And you can see on the box the like commander head. It gives me kind of like Ultron vibes, maybe like those the ninja bats from Sigma 6. So yeah, it's kind of, it's very sci-fi, but I don't like it that much. I think this was supposed to be a wasp. That's what it's supposed to be. So it didn't come with a blast effect. I just put it in there. But yeah, this is the proper troop builder head. The problem is it's gray, not all black. I don't like that it's gray. It doesn't. Yes, there's gray on the figure, but the head should have been black. And it's probably something that has to do with the glow in the dark plastic and its molding. Let me zoom out a bit, actually. Yeah. Oh, my desk is such a mess. You see I have the windows in the background because I moved the furniture around. Let me turn off the light, actually. Kind of get a better look of that glow. Yeah, it's just too bright right now for this. But this is like the only time I have to record. I have seen it glow, and I gotta admit, it kind of looks like that. It didn't charge that well, so it's very like it kind of works from what I seen. I didn't put it like directly under a lamp and all that, but anyway. So I got this in the bundle on 4th of July, so I got the sale, $50.01. And back to like this being perfect. So this head is the bug head, and I'm like, this is absolutely perfect because of what it does. And I actually have to pause the video. Gotta bring my buddy Ruski here, who's gonna do some pest control and all that. Because what this figure does is, it's pretty great because as a troop builder, it is perfect. Because it's a swarm. It's a swarm of bees. You don't always get one bee, you get a bunch of bees. So, and the original one was yellow. So there you go. That is perfect. That's amazing. There we go. Showing the spotlight. It's very. You see the translucentness now. Yeah. I guess I didn't use a proper black light. That's probably why. But yeah, this is better. Yeah, you see the glow. Let me turn off the light. Yeah, it's glowing. But anyway, so that's better. The so there's a reason for you to get a bunch of them because bees and everything. It's the best troop builder because you want the swarm. So conceptually, that's amazing. That's awesome and all that. It's not a squad. You really need human wave tactics with this guy. And the problem I have with it though is that the yellow one you had to get the jetpack, which does come off, in a separate little pack, like an upgrade pack. And this thing looks more like a cicada to me, but I kind of like it. It does have a nice charm to it, very bug-like. So the original figure looked like this. And it's fine. It's the way it is. It's a Bugman, but he looks like a Power Ranger character or a Super Sentai, and that's what adds to why this is so good. Because he could be a Super Sentai guy. You can have him be a superhero because he kind of looks like a superhero. So you have that extra factor of him just being a good guy. You also have the extra factor of like, oh, well, this helmet right here. Because imagine this with the yellow one. Because I'm going to blow y'all's mind. Okay, zoom in. You got the soldier from Haze. Remember that game? That PS3 game that was supposed to be a Halo killer? There you go. You got that guy now. And they use nectar. I don't know if there was I don't know if there was supposed to be any resemblance to Haze, but I'm like, oh wow, I immediately remembered that game. I never played it because I didn't have a PS3. Look it up and say, there's some parallels here with these guys. And it's a coincidence for sure, but it's funny. I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, and then you got your other one, which it's just a supervillain. He looks like a supervillain with his head. Not this one, the other one. Ta-da. And like, what supervillain looks like that? Oh, simple. We know what supervillain looks like that. That's why they bring Ruski. He's Firefly. This figure could go and fight your Batman figures. Though, as you can see, the flamethrower's flame is pretty heavy and all that. Gotta use the G.I. Joe one. And that one's kind of loose. But it doesn't sag as much. But yeah, it's Firefly. So that's freaking awesome. But the best thing he could be with the normal head, and this is how I would incorporate him with G.I. Joe. Okay? This is how I will do it. He's Cobra La. he could either be like, oh, Cobra Law soldiers who were given high tech suits and all that, so they could work for Cobra in the human world, or these are humans who've learned of Cobra Law and have joined Cobra Law's side. And so that's how I see him. That he's just that's how, and you could put him with Cobra and all that. Though he's a bee or a wasp or whatever, he would be enemies with the desert scorpions, the natural foes. He's gonna lay his eggs in you. Come here. Yeah. So you get all of this stuff with him. With just this one figure, again with the old army building thing. That's why he's so perfect. He could be all these different things and all that. Just imagine a kid getting this like at a garage sale and like not knowing what it is. And it's like, and the imagination he would have with this character and all that. Let's say you want to make a Diron. Let's say you're the biggest Hayes fan. Well, you have a reason to buy the freaking yellow one and the battle scarred helmet. And all that. You could recreate your favorite game, Hayes. There's somebody out there who likes that game. I didn't try other heads on this. I think his ball joint's a bit bigger. But another thing you could do with the whole idea of kid bashing and everything, I dropped the stand. You can make your own guy using these parts, your own superhero. Ta-da! I shall call him the Mothman. And I know there's a black version of this figure, but I was like, this should be like an all black version that is the Mothman. This head with red eyes and everything. That would be cool. If somebody is going to get on the cryptid game, we need like a Mothman action figure. It's probably going to be Monster Force who does it, but it's like, come on, Cobra could use the Mothman. So yeah, that is why this is perfect, and that's not counting like the articulation and all that stuff. That's just counting like the imagination factor. As soon as I saw this, I was just like, this guy looks like a superhero. I could use him for that stuff. He could be a supervillain. I could use him for that stuff. My imagination kept growing, and that gave me like this weird idea that there's a twist to the Action Force freaking storyline. So, yeah. And so apparently, though, in the lore, these guys are like they're a kamikaze unit. The idea is that they get this armor. The reason why it glows is that it absorbs kinetic energy and makes them explosive. I don't know how that works. So it's very much sci-fi wizardry kind of nonsense. There probably is some sort of weird way that actually works in real life, and this is just brought up to the extreme of it. But if that is how it works, it's like, why don't you just have a drone do that? Why do you have to sacrifice a guy? I thought that was kind of weird. So that's the lore, and you can look at it right there. Actually, I'll pick it up and show it to y'all. Let's see here. You can pause the video. Okay. Now let's get to the other parts of it. So it's also worth 5. This figure is worth 5 action points. I think it's because it's a deluxe, but it doesn't really come with anything other than the jetpack and the extra heads. And the shield. The shield apparently came with a different figure entirely, from what I know. So, ideally, all you really need is the gun and the jetpack and one of the heads, which should be the bug-eyed one. Like, they released a head pack with battle-scarred heads, which gives me this idea like, okay, if the armor's like impenetrable, then I assume the reason why the heads are damaged is because that's the weak spot. So really all you need is this part of the figure, so it shouldn't have deluxe pricing if that was what it is. And you had to buy like an extra like gear pack to fully upgrade them. So yeah. And so this thing usually retails for $35. But I think it was, I think maybe I'm wrong. It was a $40 figure and it got price slashed to $35, and in the bundle it's $50 with the other figure. So I don't know. Maybe it's $25. I forget. Because they had him sold separately from the bundle, and then 4th of July happens and he's only in the bundle. So yeah, I'm disappointed in that. But let's talk about the articulation and the stand. The stand, I'm liking it. I'm going to do a separate video on just the stand. But it's a stand. It holds him properly. It fits him properly. And I don't know if it's because of the plastic or the quality of the figure. But guys, this guy, everything is smooth. Everything. This is high. This is amazing. I never had a figure this smooth. The only one that came close was the Cobra Officer. Okay, he has some paint details in the joint area, and there's like it's peeling off. It's understandable that happens. I don't mind. It's like a place you don't really look at and everything. So he has this weird pistol. I thought I would like it, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird. And it doesn't go in the holster. It clicks in there, but it doesn't really look right in the holster. I gotta admit that. We have the jetpack, as I already showed you. The wings move up and down. He has a knife. I just don't know what happened to it. But he had a knife. I honestly... Oh, wait, no. It's at my feet. Let me grab it. Pause. Here is the knife. This little weird curved blade. So, my whole thing with the knife is that... Why is it also made out of the materials of the glow-in-the-dark material? Why isn't it just a normal knife? Same thing with the gun. Like, do they have to glow in the dark? Why couldn't they just be normal guns? You know what I mean? I don't know if this plastic is causing it to be loose or something. So, yeah. The armor is definitely loose. It doesn't want to align with the torso properly. So I don't know if this is just quality with mine or if this is in general. Same thing with the belt. It really likes to get riled up in there. But I guess that's how it's supposed to go. But yeah, it's been shifting on me and all that. As you can see, it does that sometimes. I know you could take these figures apart for kit bashing. I might take off the belt. So, and articulation in the stomach area, because it's all ball joints, it has this very O-ring kind of feel to it. I like it, though it kind of gives them like a weird slouch. I don't mind though, but it is kind of jarring and all that. So yeah, I like the articulation though with all of it together, because you could give them like these really interesting poses that you can't get with the G.I. Joes and all that. But it is kind of weird to pose him though, because it's like if I could mess up and he ends up looking like this and all that. You know what? I'm going to do something funny. Yeah. All right. I am Carhulio. I need DP for my bunghole. So I'm just like, I got to be honest, guys. I'm having a blast. So he comes with the shield. I am not really a fan of the shield. It kind of sits loosely on his hand. I don't really think it adds to it. Also, you're flying around. How are you using the frickin' shield? It makes sense for like the other figure, which was like a kind of like a SWAT kind of looking thing. But like it doesn't really make sense with this. So it's like, yeah, there should have just been a normal figure. It just came with the freaking jetpack. Okay, I think that would have caused it to be sold a lot better, assuming the sales are okay with it. But I'm like, even the color scheme is really good. Even if this was just solid and not some gimmick, I would say this is really good color scheme because it's bug-like and everything. Kind of reminds me more of a cicada. But let's talk about this gun, the Chris Vector. This is why I bought this figure. Not because I was asked to, but because I really wanted this gun. I kept telling myself, I'm not going to spend $50 or $35 or $25 for just one gun. Okay? Why did I want this gun? Because the Desert Scorpion is based off a scorpion. And scorpions glow in the dark. Okay? So, it would make sense for the Desert Scorpion to have a glowing accessory. So, they glow under a black light. And here was the problem. I put it in his hand, and it's super loose. Because for some reason, this gun is just thinner. It's just freaking thinner than this other Chris Vector. And other weapons, too, in the Valaverse line. There's just something about it that it's just really thin. And now I could like probably heat up the hands and close it, but I shouldn't have to do that. And also because it's a Chris Vector, it has weird dimensions, a weird silhouette, especially with this barrel suppressor thing. So because of those weird dimensions and stuff, the figure doesn't really hold it that well. And it uses the bad stock that everybody hates about the Chris Vector. It's the buffer tube stock instead of the normal stock, which kind of looks like this, sort of. Not really, but it's more like in that kind of shape when it's folded out. So I gave him this one, and it just doesn't look right, even though this is probably more accurate to what the Scorpion's glow looks like. But I really don't like the rocket launcher on it. So, but it does leave room for me getting the Weapon Pack India version of this gun, but it's just it sort of fits, it sort of works, but it's like, because it's this white color, I don't think it really works with the Swarm Tracer. I was going to be perfectly okay with buying Weapon Pack Kilo weapons for them too, so using this one because it's the same two weapons in that weapon pack. And this gun is a piece of work because it's a pain to get it in the figure's hand, and it's a pain to pose them with it. And I really like the look of it. It turns out it's some kind of AR. And I was like, no, I'm done. I was going to buy the Fury just for their gun. I almost spent $20 for just this gun online. I'm glad I didn't, but that's a review for another time. So really, you got to be really specific on what weapon to give him. But luckily, his Chris Vector really works well. And it just fits on him perfectly. So I'm like, maybe this Chris Vector was just only made for him. And all that. So, yeah, let's get him into a dynamic pose. Come on, get in there. Get in there. First time I'm using this hand to hold the gun. I'll talk about it in a second. Because he comes with multiple hands. There we go. So he comes with multiple hands. And they're different. Their pegs are different than the G.I. Joe ones. But he comes with this cupping hand that I assume is so he could hold the weapon more better. And it just looks weird. So I put a hot dog on it. And I put sticky tack. Same thing with a cup. It does look weird and all that, but it's like, yeah, I'm fine with it. Then I kept being told he has a grippy hand. And what I mean by grippy hand, it's actually like a freaking holding hand. It's like, it's just not a trigger finger. So I guess this is for knives. I still wish we got like a C-clamp hand. It's like, you had one job, Valaverse. You had one job. But it's like, you know what? It's not as bad as I would have thought. And they come out with hand packs too, so it's not a big deal. But I really like that. This hand ended up working really well with the hot dog and the soda and all that. So, but it's also kind of a pain to remove. Yeah, I'm gonna. There we go. Because it's a different peg, so they're not really compatible with most G.I. Joes. And I thought, oh, it's in, but no, it's not. There we go. I love this. I love this figure. It's just, I love what I could do with it. This is the perfect figure. It's a great army builder. It's a great standalone figure. He could be anything you want him to be. It's very imaginative and all that. And we get all this. We get the extra heads and all that. We don't get any extra weapons though. And it's worth 5 action points. So like what? I think you need 20 to get a figure for a low price. 70. I'm gonna have to research the action point thing. But just getting 4 of these to have your own school, you need 3. You need 3 to complete the trio with the different heads. That's 15 action points, assuming you need 20. Now, you will be able to, if you buy the bundle, you will be able to get your action point, all 20 of your action points, but you're like down $150. So yeah. But anyway, I'm like, would I recommend this figure? Absolutely. This is awesome. This is a good figure and all that. Just again, it could be because of the plastic. Maybe normal ones are more stiffer, but from what I could gather with this, yes, get the Swarm Tracer. But here's the thing, guys. It's in a bundle right now. Okay? So before you go buy, watch the review on my other figure, which is either already out or it's going to come out in a few days. So you got to watch the figure on the freaking Praetorian that comes with this. So yeah, because I want to, and I'm going to make a video of you should get the bundle, which I hope will be just 5 minutes. But let's say they go back on sale by themselves, get him. Perfectly fine. Perfectly great figure and all that. Okay, well, thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all have a nice day. Bye-bye.